You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Now we got drinks? Oh, stay free.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Oh yeah, just like some bad movie. We're much quicker to the episode tonight because the website that I use to get YouTube videos, the trailers and whatnot, they're gone.
Who's this now?
I use some website. Here, I'll tell you exactly the website. Nobody can use it anymore. It's dead. It's called YouTube Downloader. It's a website. It's y2mate.com. And I used to be able to pick the video that you want. You just put the link in the feed that they have, and then you can download the video quite easily. And
what about their app?
Oh, the whole thing is defunct. It's gone. So, yeah.
My.
Yeah, so I don't have a TV spot tonight. Normally I do. I'm having that same problem that I did last week with the taskbar, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this. This is so stupid.
It's a rough week. It's a rough week. And It's a rough movie. This is Moviesucktastic, if you didn't catch it in the beginning. And we're here reviewing King Kong from 1976. The Jeff Bridges...
The Jeff Bridges machine.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm far enough along where I can actually admit to not even being that big on the original.
Oh, the one from the 30s?
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
What was that, 33?
No, the other original. Yeah, one of the 30s.
Stop it. Stop it.
I know it's supposed to be a big deal, and it probably was at the time. I never got into it. I
don't know. I don't know even if it was in 1976 a big deal.
Yeah.
It made enough money. They tried it again in 1985 with King Kong Lives with Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, that was even more of a disappointment. Everyone has been a big disappointment up until Skull Island. You know?
Yeah, Kong is one of those characters that they just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And then you're right, when Skull Island came out, I loved Kong Skull Island. I thought that was real. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. And then Godzilla vs. Kong, I thought that was really good too.
Hey, I don't know why my wife was so angry at the film. I thought it was fine. I thought it was entertaining.
Why was she? Which one?
I don't know. Which one? Which wife?
No, which wife? Which movie? Godzilla vs. Kong?
Godzilla vs. Kong, yeah.
She was angry?
She was physically angry because she hated that film so much.
Why?
And I for the life of me, can't understand.
Well, you know what? She's like what I like to call wrong.
Wow.
Wow. Sorry, Holly. I love you, but
we're
wrong.
Yeah, so in the 70s, they decided to remake the classic, quote-unquote classic King Kong. And so they got an Italian director.
Yeah, that always works out well.
Yeah, and wrote up a screenplay, and they had to modernize it.
Sure.
Originally they weren't going to, but then there was some studio demands. I think De Laurentiis made demands of it being modern day, if he was involved.
I can see that. I can see that.
And so we get this 70s kind of message, King Kong.
Yeah, and listen,
Yeah.
getting the Italian director De Laurentiis, an Italian producer, that came right from him. I mean, like he's just like, I'm gonna get one of my guys. I'm gonna, and the thing is, I'm jumping to the very end, just that little thing that came up. The producers would like to acknowledge, and then all the people that worked on it, and then it was like with a special. I didn't think it said appreciation, but it said with a special thanks or guidance from Rick Baker. And if they just let Rick Baker do the whole thing, it probably would have. Listen, if Rick Baker was interviewed, I don't know if he was, off record, he'd probably be like, that thing would have looked like garbage if I did not help them.
Well, no, that's the whole thing too. I mean,
because it didn't look great.
and by the way,
It wasn't Rick
Italian
Baker
directors,
standards by any means.
Speaking of Italian directors, you know who supposedly was potentially asked. To
Don't
do
even tell me Argento.
Close, Mario Bava.
Oh, Bava, really?
Yeah. That's what I read. Who knows if it's true? It's one of the many things you read about this stuff. But
I think. Well, fan of the show, Gino Cuddy. Didn't he? Wasn't there was it Godzilla, Luigi Koji, or I think it was Luigi Koji or something like that, or I don't know. I don't remember. But there's a video, very, very rough edit of Godzilla that was produced, and it was really, I don't think it was filmed. I think it was just kind of cut together, and it was a Godzilla thing. And it was, the only reason I'm bringing it up because it was also in the 70s. It's like once De Laurentiis got his hands on this, it like all these other things started popping up too.
oh yeah, there was a couple of animated series I think that came up as well.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of, I mean, and because you expect this to be the blockbuster, and
Well, I mean that's what they were hoping for.
well, I feel like every King Kong is like, okay, let's stretch the limits of special effects, and no one ever really wants to admit that the limit's really not as far as you think, and you're not going to get that far beyond it.
Yeah.
And it's always that short. I mean, I feel like we're in this golden age film wise now where you can really do anything and it looks real.
You can. You absolutely can. And you
kinda,
don't need a ton of money to do it either now.
And it makes me feel bad being in that position and judging a film like this for special effects that at the time were
The movie cost $24 million. That was the budget. And I believe it made 50 worldwide or something. I thought it actually made more. I thought it made like 90 million.
it was the seventh highest grossing film of the year.
In 76?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any numbers. I just have that one number.
Well, if it's 76, I'll tell you what was the highest grossing.
And the budget may not have been so high if they hadn't tried to build the robotic King Kong, which you only see for about a minute in the film.
Yeah. What was the highest grossing film in 1976? There's a movie here. Looks like it was Rocky. Yep, it was Rocky. Which makes sense. It makes sense.
Sure.
According to the numbers, my favorite website, it said Kong made 90 million. Mm-hmm. And you said it was the 7th?
That's what I read.
Yeah, the numbers looks like it doesn't have everything that made money that year. Because there's a bunch of things that don't make more than the 90. There's a movie called To Fly. Said it made 120 million. It's an IMAX movie. They had IMAX movies in the 70s? I know why. I know why it says 120 million. It's probably made throughout its lifetime 120 million. IMAX movies, if you look at them, they have pretty high grosses Like it'll be like, oh, this IMAX film made $75 million. It's because they've been showing it for 30 years. You know, when you go to like IMAX theaters, we have one in Jersey City that just does IMAX movies like that. Anyhow, all right. Why are you looking at me like that? It's like you're entertaining me. That's what I feel like. That
no,
face
sir,
is.
you're entertaining me.
Ah.
The film starts off with them, and they had to make up a fake location, so it was like Sarabat.
It wasn't
Sarabiat?
Skull Island.
Yeah, no, I mean where the camera.
Oh,
first
right,
comes
right.
down.
Yeah. Because they're looking for
at the
oil.
port.
They're looking for oil.
Right.
Yeah, that's their whole thing.
So it's like a Middle Eastern name, but not a specific one, so you can't pin down exactly where they are.
And little things like that, I don't care about. You know,
Just mentioning it.
No. Well, no. You know, I haven't seen this movie in a really long time. I completely forgot that Charles Grodin is in this.
How can you forget? He's like the main bad guy.
Well, I didn't remember that Charles Grodin was in this. I really didn't. But let me tell you this. I love Charles Grodin in this movie.
Oh,
he is so over the top.
Nails it.
So over the top. What a douche.
They were originally supposed to. He was supposed to be like involved in sequels and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Charles Grodin, the demanding actor.
Yeah, you know, of course you want to keep him around. He's a big name, especially in the '70s.
He just died recently.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah, we're doing all these reviews.
Thanks,
it's like
Joey.
We're doing all these reviews. It's like Cosby gets out of jail. We do Mother Jugs and Speed.
Yeah.
Then,
don't say I killed Charles Grodin because I will be upset.
No, he died way before we reviewed this.
Well, then why are you bringing it up?
I'm bringing it up because it's just another movie we reviewed that someone that's in it has recently passed.
But now you're saying it's recently, and then you're saying, oh, it's so far back, and then you're saying, oh, but it's so close.
It's like within the last couple of months he died.
That close? Oh, yeah. It's
2 or 3 months, something like that.
My bad. Oh.
It's all your fault.
Well, I'm not challenging the Silver Streak now. I don't want to kill what's his name.
Silver Streak. Oh, wait a minute.
Gene Wilder.
He's dead.
When did he die?
Like 4 years ago.
I can't keep having this conversation. Let's get back to the movie.
But you didn't know Willy Wonka died.
We haven't even gotten to Jeff Bridges climbing across the rope and sneaking on board the boat because he wants to get on an island.
Yeah, he knows. He bought maps,
now,
charts. He bought charts.
Right. It's hard to fault some of this because the screenwriter has to figure out how he's going to get a romantic couple that aren't involved with the ship on the boat to go to the island. We need to get outsiders on the boat of insiders. So of course we got to do stupid shit. Oh, I'm sneaking aboard, and then we got to have a woman, so let's just have a rat bring her up. Happy ending.
Yeah.
I like
Gene Wilder died. It's his 5-year anniversary death. It'll be on August 29th. It'll be 5 years that Gene Wilder is dead.
I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that.
Well, now you know.
I didn't need to know.
And now you know. But yes, Jessica Lange, she's in the middle of the ocean. They're about to, detain Jeff Bridges' character, Jack, because they threatened that he snuck aboard because he's actually from Exxon or Shell or wherever. They're trying to find oil. He's a spy. So they're not going to escort him off the ship, but they're going to probably put him in some sort of prisoner-esque quarters.
The brig. It's called the brig. We all know what the boat jail is. It's the brig.
The brig. So as they're taking him there, he notices that there's a life raft in the water, and it's Jessica Lange's lifeless, motionless body.
Yeah, and talk about luck. I mean, all is lost. That poor guy spends, all that time wasted trying to get anybody to recognize him. She just floats up asleep.
Yeah.
Although I will posit that this would have been this film would have been an entirely different film if they had pulled Robert Redford out of that raft instead of her.
A little bit.
Your choice whether it's age appropriate or not.
Yeah, they wouldn't have went back for Robert Redford. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They would have just let the monkey have him. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, now Charles Grodin does a great job of stomping around and acting like an idiot, and Jeff Bridges has a ball just playing the hunky guy. Um, but why do this filmmakers feel the need to understand how people get bond over like several months on a cruise, by just like padding a half hour of the film so we feel old? It's like there's so much time spent on this boat.
This should be a 90-minute movie, not a 2 hour and 15 or 2 hour and 14-minute movie.
Well, at least shave it under 2 hours by just cutting short all the montages of showing, oh, see, look, they got along while they were on the boat. They're on a boat. We know this. We know how boats work.
From what I understand, there's a theatrical cut of this and a TV extended cut. Is the 2 hour and 14-minute version that we watch, is that the TV extended cut?
Oh, please don't. Or is the extended cut.
Or is the TV extended cut even longer? I don't even know.
I don't know. No, the official runtime is 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Right. Well, here, let me do because I actually wanted to look it up before we.
Television version is 3 hours and 2 minutes. The extended television version is 3 hours and 13 minutes. So we did not watch the extended version. Thank
Jesus Christ. There's a 3 hour version of this?
Yeah, and here I was getting on Peter Jackson's case.
Yeah, right? King Kong Extended Edition. Oh, no, that's the 2005. I put the year in. Christ.
Yep. The extended TV is 193 minutes.
Scream Factory. They're the ones that did the Blu-ray of this.
Now I need it. Now I need it. Now I need to know what was cut out.
Oh my God!
By the way, I don't think we're live on YouTube.
What? The stream was going.
I'm on our page and I don't see anything.
Christ in heaven! The stream was working.
Okay, I shouldn't have brought it up.
I can probably get the stream going again. It might be going.
So I hazard.
Since we're going live, the stream key, I can't access it.
Oh, then don't bother. I'm just saying.
God, I hate it so much. Now it's been begging me to update this version, and I think I have to at this point because the stream just doesn't work all the time.
All right.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
We were talking about the TV extended cut. You found it. It's 3 hours. You're getting. Yeah.
I certainly hope it's not more character development because Jesus, this film has plenty of that. Don't have to take any extra time developing the characters.
The TV spot I was going to play, because the tagline for this movie, the TV spot has the tagline in it, which is the most exciting original motion picture event of all time, and is also one of the great love stories of our time. It's a little wordy. Just a little wordy. Just a little bit. Just...
Stop making it a love story.
Stop it now.
They keep making it a love story.
I mean,
now I obviously
it's just not going to work out, Kong. It's just not going to work out. Just like Jessica Lange tells him, it ain't going to work out, man. She at one point tells him, "This just isn't going to work out." It's like she was breaking up with him. Yeah, right there.
And her that 70s bubblehead naivete kind of.
Well, yes.
Way, not in a real sense.
Yeah. I like you as a friend, Kong. I don't think of you that way. You're like a brother to me.
They're the obvious. Obviously, everything's pointed towards oil, industrialization, and they very vividly bring up the whole idea that they're pretty much stealing somebody else's land, their god even, by exploiting their land. So all that's going on there. I think having King Kong in the bottom of the ship during the shipping was a bit too much. There's like way too much imagery there for me to unpack. So I've got enough hate. I've got enough hate on corporate America alone. I don't need you to lump white America on top of that. Can I just have one hatred at a time, please? I only have so much room in my movie-going experience to focus my hate. And you've given me Charles Grodin as that focus. And it's not, I mean, he's a great actor, but it's not a great villain.
No,
no. It's the villain is nothing, is just an embodiment of arrogance and greed.
Well, I mean, Charles
and
Grodin
pomposity.
is.
He plays it great. I mean,
Well,
I
no,
think
he's
the
pretty
first
much
part-
one of those actors where he's Charles Grodin in every movie. There's
Yes and no.
real. Well, yes and no. I mean, like he changes it up very little, but his character arc is kind of small.
He's like all those 70s male actors that were popular at the time on TV and film. Like, Alan Alda.
Right.
He's an Alan Aldaite. He's one of them. He's one of that flock.
I could think of 3 movies that he's been in just off the top of my head where he's Charles Grodin in every one. Like he's
seems like old times.
Like in one, in Beethoven, he's Charles Grodin dealing with a dog.
Right. Beethoven is a kid's film. Who's acting for a kid's
in
film?
Midnight Run, he is Charles Grodin dealing with Robert De Niro. In Taking Care of Business, he is Charles Grodin dealing with what Jim Belushi is doing.
I feel like this is bordering on slander at this point. I won't have it.
The man's dead, so it's okay.
That's just even worse. Worse, Joey.
He's not around to fight me.
Yeah.
Charles Grodin, fight me. Do it.
Yeah, but when you make your lead villain so ineffectual, it doesn't. I mean, because of course he's not the show, but I mean that's why Jack Black as the guy. Great, now I have another guy to hate. It's not a good. It's not the. It doesn't fill the hole properly for a villain.
Right.
And if you're going to embody something as vast and destructive as like the industrial complex, commercial and industrial complex, don't choose Charles Grodin.
I like Charles Grodin.
I like Charles Grodin too, but I just think.
But he's Charles Grodin in every movie. Come on, let's not harp on this. It's just the truth.
I'm just. It's not. And I wish you would stop saying it because you hurt me every time you say it.
I don't want to hurt you, baby.
Then stop saying it.
Okay. I'll stop saying it.
I just feel like it's a choice that hurts the film being taken seriously. But then I remember it's about a giant monkey who attacks the city. It's not supposed to be taken seriously.
They changed that up too. He doesn't climb up the Empire State Building. He climbs up the Twin Towers.
Apparently, people at the Empire State Building were not happy about that change.
I imagine it's what made them famous. I mean,
and then after
obviously,
9/11, nobody else was happy with that change.
Yeah. Well, when were the Twin Towers built? They were built in the 70s. Like I think they were only built for a few years, right?
Oh, by a few years, you mean like a couple decades?
No. I think the Twin Towers were constructed in the early 70s. So when this movie came out, the Twin Towers were, I want to say, really new.
That was the whole advertising point. That was one of the stipulations that Lawrence's gave. As far as if I'm not mistaken, the two stipulations were it's modern day and he climbs the Twin Towers.
Yeah. Twin Towers.
He knows he's selling. And then he turns around and says, "Hey, I need a movie with a monkey that climbs the two towers." Bam, that's it. Modern day. He's just worried about how he's going to sell the film, not about what's actually in it.
Yeah, it says here, Twin Towers were completed in 1973, although tenants were arriving as early as December 1970. So between when tenants were actually allowed in the building and when they were actually finished, it's 3 to 6 years. That's it. It's pretty interesting that they chose the Twin Towers. And obviously, I think you're right with the advertising. It's like it's a new part of the New York City skyline. Became iconic, not even because of September 11th. It was way before that. So it's interesting that they decided to use that as the building that he climbs in this movie. So, man, you ever look back at that original Spider-Man teaser before Spider-Man came out in 2002? Mm-hmm. Where it's none of that's in the movie. It was just we're making a Spider-Man movie. Here's a little something of what you can expect. And it was bank robbers, and Spider-Man tangles their helicopter in between the Twin Towers.
Maybe this isn't the place to say it, but with all the people complaining that you can't take down these statues, like the Civil War statues, because they're a part of history and we can't forget a part of history. Why is it acceptable that after 9/11 we just wiped we just kind of like wiped the message boards. It's like, okay, there were no trade towers. Anything we have out there that has trade towers in them, get them out of there. That's it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
At all.
So what do we get up doing that? It's like a double standard there.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with this
Did
film.
they do that in the Spider-Man
Trade
films? Where did they actually have the Twin Towers and they digitally removed them?
No, they pulled that teaser.
They pulled the teaser. I mean, even
Yeah.
though it was like 9 years later, you can still find it, but they just you're right, they made a big deal about pulling it. It's like, no, you don't get to watch this anymore. It's like, stop it.
Well, with King Kong specifically, they recalled any DVD cases that had the cover, and they would replace it with one where he wasn't on the tower.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's a money. I'm sure that's a collectible out there somewhere.
Sure.
And I'm conflicted on whether or not it would be one I would want. It's exploitational, but at the same time, it's exploitational against something that's stupid to begin with. So
yeah,
it's a hard one.
What's interesting is
speaking of stupid.
Stupid, yes.
Oh, back to the movie.
Back to the movie. Now the slideshow that we have, the slides that you put together for me. Thank you again. There's the one poster. Yeah, where he's on the Twin Towers. Here, I'll pull it in real quick. It's this one. He's got 1 foot on one tower, and he's got another foot on the other tower.
Mm-hmm.
But he's absolutely gigantic. He's way bigger in this poster than he actually is.
Oh, sure. He had the poster printed before they started
What's he holding
filming.
in his one hand? A train?
I thought it was one of the helicopters.
I mean, no. No, that's way too big to be a helicopter. And there's two
really?
in the picture as well. It doesn't even look anything like those. I want to say that's a train.
All right, he caught a train.
But what did he do? Bring it up there with him?
I think it's a helicopter.
Who fucking drew this? It ain't a helicopter. It's too fucking big.
Okay.
Maybe it's a big jet, but where are the wings? It's just like, I don't know. I don't like the way he looks either. He just looks like he's, like, is he an alcoholic? He's got look at that beer belly. I mean, like, drinks like 50 cases of beer a day. It's like way out of shape. Just doesn't look right. It's a terrible poster.
Yeah, I think again, I think a lot of it happened like for advertising before they even had the film in the can. So
you know what I do like? I do like what they're doing now. With King Kong and Godzilla, physically they're bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they're beating the shit out of each other, or when Kong is in Skull Island, you get a better idea of just how big he really is. And then in Godzilla vs. Kong, they're walking through like skyscrapers and stuff, and they're almost as tall as these tall skyscrapers. I mean, like, I always felt that that's the size they should have been. Instead of, like, when he's climbing up the Empire State Building, he's very small in comparison. Mm-hmm. It just makes
a big problem with a lot of these films is generally making sure everything's at scale, especially when you're doing different. You've got like a mechanized arm here and a half-size dummy here, and the giant robot that we never get to use.
Right. Well, like when Godzilla is, walking through cities and knocking over buildings and crushing, the city and all that, they show just how large he is. And, when they do like a Godzilla vs. Kong movie, Godzilla would be way bigger than Kong had they stuck to the scale of what the movies that they made.
Speaking of size, I find it, I don't know if this was intentional, but it just kind of occurred to me that by taking this giant monster and then when they transport it back in the oil tanker for what, which is what they wanted originally, and he's at the bottom of it and he's so small. It's like for the first time ever, he's small because he's coming to something bigger than him, which is corporate greed.
Yeah.
Or industrial progress, whichever one you prefer.
Sure.
So I mean, there's that imagery, and then obviously, slave boats. It's there's so much imagery, but like the film just doesn't feel like it deserves any of it. And then and even like even the idea of I didn't score them billions and billions of dollars in oil, so maybe this large gorilla will sway their minds. Maybe it's an advertising. Nothing could possibly go wrong. I mean, they build Charles Grodin's character up enough where you're convinced that he could do something that stupid,
right?
But that there must have been other people involved, like they get the giant cage and the nobody above him saw these orders. So why the fuck are we building a 80-foot gas station pump? You didn't hear about the monkey? Get somebody on the phone. It just seems weird to me.
They seem to have been able to build all this stuff very quickly.
Well, that's industry,
I guess.
But
when they dig that hole and they have the chloroform in there, how'd they get him out of the hole?
A lot of guys.
No. Sorry. A fucking 50-ton ape. No one is getting him out of that hole. He'd have to crawl out of there and willingly go into the ship himself.
Hey, how do they get it in a tank that's normally for oil?
Listen, suspension of disbelief is a wonderful thing. It really is.
And if you got to go into this with a crate full, it's true. Yes. But I mean, then once they get to the city, it's just a lot of. Every single King Kong film, the female character is given way more attention than deserved by anybody, especially the fucking monkey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's never really clearly defined what's the trait. They make sure that Jeff Bridges has a month or two on the boat, so it's not just because she's a hottie.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that there's some bonding going on. Great. And
then the father from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase's father, he's like the captain of the ship.
Oh, yeah.
He, when I'm watching it, I'm like, wait a minute, I know who that is. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's the Chevy Chase's dad from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I was like, oh, man, that's right, this guy's been acting forever. Well, when they find her and they bring her in, they're like, oh, we're going to, have to, sir, I'm trained in, first aid. It's like, oh, we're going to have to take her clothes off, huh? And he's the first one. It's like, all right, everybody out of here.
What's his name is Rene Auberjonis. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's the scientist, the one that's testing for the oil on the ship.
He's the guy that tells Charles Grodin that, we found oil, but it'll be good in about 10,000 years.
Right. For my life, every time I've seen him in anything, including this, all I can think of is Benson, because I grew up watching Benson, and he was the main character one of the main characters in Benson.
I never really watched Benson.
Oh,
I mean, I know who he is, and I've seen him in the show, but that was never a show I really watched.
Well, fine.
Growing up.
That's just my memory.
Sorry. Don't take it personal.
I mean, it's a remake, so we're seeing the same story we already know over again. So we've got the trek into the forest to save the girl.
Yeah.
We've got the conflicting orders. We have them racing back with the monkey, so that our hero inadvertently helps trap the monkey.
Right. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel with this.
I'm not saying monkey to be derogatory either. I don't know why I've been doing that.
You can say ape.
I can say King Kong. I can say Kong.
You can say Kong.
Yeah. Let me hear you say Kong.
Kong.
All right, that didn't work.
No.
And it's just like it's the same as the Peter Jackson one. We know where this is all going, so all you have to do is wow me with special effects, and it's just instead they try to act like the whole thing means something special, and it's nothing. It's just about tormenting an animal and killing it because humans don't understand.
No,
that's it. I hate to be so reductive.
How do you think they get him out of the city after he's dead? They probably got to chop him up, right?
Oh man, Kong burgers.
I mean, he's gotta have to get. I mean, and not just like quartered. It's like here's an arm, here's a leg, here's a leg.
I feel like if you go to an old issue of Mad Magazine, that the ending would be Kong burgers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can like just see the art in my head.
I know. I could see it. I could see it too. It's just like somebody with like a grill or something. It's like, get your Kong burgers. Get your Kong burgers. Yeah, no, it's like they gotta chop him up a lot. Like,
see, I hate that you challenge me to this.
It's like an all day, all night affair. It's like the smell in the city. It's like, oh my God, are you done chopping up this ape?
Yeah.
Like, when are you going to be done with this? It's just like sewers overflowing with blood. I just like there's. It's like, you know that they would.
Jesus Christ, Joey.
They wouldn't be doing it.
Holy shit.
They wouldn't be doing it correctly. You know, it gets into the water system. You know, it just smells like iron and hair for a month while they're chopping up this ape in the middle of the New York City. You're
channeling Holly. I swear, I can hear this coming from my right while I'm watching this.
But these are all valid.
I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
These are all valid. It's like, all right, we finally we got half of them gone. It's just we just got the legs now. It's just like, oh, and then the sewers are probably getting clogged with hair. It's like hair is everywhere. It's just it's like in the air. It's like you're walking through the city and it's just like you get something stuck in your eye, except you're getting Kong hair in your eye. It's just everywhere. It's on your clothes. You smell like Kong for months just because it's so thick. It's in the air. It's just, how do you get that gigantic ape out of the city? You got to chop him up. Maybe you could lift him out of there, but I don't know. I think they're chopping that bad boy up. I'm sorry.
I think Joey lapped me.
Hey,
we just started the show now.
On your right. On your right.
Motherfucker. Hate that shit. I know you're referencing Captain America.
I am.
Yeah. Every time you do, though, I just get a flashback to Atlantic City on the boardwalk. Oh, you're right. There's 5,000 people on the boardwalk right now. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I really am upset with you for challenging this film to me.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Just...
remember we didn't have a show last week because I was on vacation. Mm-hmm. I went on a family vacation. And when we do that, it's a house of 10 people in our family, 11 people, something like that. And not last year, because all of our vacations were canceled because of COVID. The vacation before that, we were reviewing Meet the Feebles. And we were on vacation, and I told everyone, I go, hey, I got to watch this movie for the podcast. Is anyone interested in watching it with me? They're like, yeah, sure. What is it? I go, basically, it's if you took the Muppets and they were on crack, cocaine, and heroin all at the same time, this is what you would get. And they're all like, oh my God, that sounds crazy and kind of cool and insane. And we started watching it. They lasted about 10 minutes before they begged me to turn it off. Now, we go fast forward or rewind a week ago. Hey guys, I got to watch a movie for the podcast. A little different. Really? There's a little different reaction this time around. Okay, what's the movie? King Kong, the remake from 1976. Everyone immediately is like, I'll pass. Sorry, I'll pass. And then the very next thing they brought up, it was like, yeah, that last movie you had us watch, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm ready. Meet the Feebles has fucked up probably any chance of me going on a vacation and watching a film for the podcast with other people.
It came out too strong.
Well, I mean, I didn't intend to. I think you challenged that one to me. I think.
That's a good possibility.
I'd have to look at the episodes to see what was the one before and the one after, and then I would.
I'm pretty sure we reviewed it specifically because of the Happy Land murders.
Yeah, that was coming out, but we were still, our format was still straight up challenges. So right. I'm trying to remember. Maybe I'll just look it up real quick. Anyhow, yeah, King Kong. It sucks. Do we like it more or less than the Peter Jackson King Kong? I mean, say what you will about the Peter Jackson King Kong. You do get to stay on Skull Island. You do get more Skull Island.
I like it less because Peter Jackson is still a consummate filmmaker, even though it was a shitty film as far as the screenplay and how it came out. It still looks beautiful. So I definitely would have to take that over this De Laurentiis nonsense.
I agree. Oh, I'm scrolling through when I know I can just type the name. I can just type Meet the Feebles. There it is. Meet the Feebles, episode 280. Wow, that was 70 episodes ago. I guess it makes sense. It was 2 years ago. Puppet Master was after, and Brain Damage was before. Yeah. You challenged me to Meet the Feebles because I challenged you to Brain Damage.
There you go.
No, that's wrong. I challenged you to Quick Change. You challenged me to Brain Damage. I challenged you to Meet the Feebles. I know that is fact because I remember when I challenged you to Quick Change, you were like, "Really? We're doing a good movie?" I was like, "Yeah, I think we should do it." Oh yeah, because before Quick Change was Paranormal Activity 2, you bastard. Ugh.
Yeah, I do find it ironic though that King Kong was they tried to exploit the original film, and then used a message of how it's bad to exploit.
Yeah.
Resources.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s was all kind of fucked up like that.
Yeah, it was. It's interesting that we had any good movies at all coming out of the 70s.
Lowest cultural point ever in the history of the planet.
Yeah, 70s was, This is the year I was born, movie, when it came out, but yeah.
Now, what would you like to rate King Kong?
It's currently a 5.9 out of 10, which in my book means it's a 6.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a 6. 6 seems kind of high, yeah. I think a 5 is more appropriate.
I feel good. I feel good putting a 5 down on this one.
It's 5. I think 5 is appropriate. This is a very average movie.
Yeah.
Less than 5 wouldn't be right, but higher than a 5. 6. We're getting into like good movie status. Those mid 6s to high 6s going into like your 7s. There is like, oh, this is a good movie. It's got its flaws, but it's very, very good.
It's also an excellent example of how exploitation cinema eventually overtook mainstream Hollywood.
Yeah.
This is a major, as far as film go, King Kong, it's a major remake, and the fact that they got undersold by De Laurentiis' crew, slapping this thing together.
Yeah.
It feels like a high-end canon film. This is Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
Or
it's only like 7-8 years removed.
Yeah, they took the business model, the people that didn't get crushed under their own largesse. You brought this business model into Hollywood, and Hollywood sees it makes money, they lapped it right up. So you can see how it's interesting watching how everything just turns to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have gone somewhere else with that. But
no, it's okay. Well, the movie, when Universal Studios came out in 1990, they had a bunch of rides from all the Universal films. One of the rides was King Kong. And, one of the things that they took from the King Kong films is when you're on the ride, you're on a train. And in this film, he's, grabbing trains and he's, throwing them around and all that. And that's the ride at Universal Studios. That ride has now been defunct. They don't do that ride anymore, just like they don't do the Jaws one. Because just like the movie, the shark never worked. Mm-hmm. It just always had a problem. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Like even, years later, they created a theme park around movies and they still... Oh, my children. I swear to God. I want to yell, but I don't want to yell while we're doing a podcast, even though I specifically told them to be quiet while I was doing this. Like, they're gonna listen back to this, and they're gonna hear these words coming out of my mouth, and they're gonna be like, "Father, so sorry." No, that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I'm not gonna go in the other room and spank my children. I don't do that stuff. But it's like, ugh, just be quiet. Boys, I asked you to be quiet. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Dad. Anyway. Yes, I think a 5 is very appropriate for this. I am full on board with a 5. So, now that we've rated this, you have a challenge for me?
Yes, I do.
Are we staying... Oh, first of all, briefly mention the format of the show. We're in 1976. We started in 1973. We go back and forth with movies from the year starting in 1973. If one of us felt that year is done, they could move us into the following year. So right now we're in 1976. If Scott feels that we're done with 1976, he can move us right into 1977. But I'm not 100% sure that you're doing that.
I feel like we're on the edge, so I'm gonna.
I think so. I think so too.
So I'm gonna punt it over to you, and I'm going to keep it in 1976.
Okay.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it or give any kind of hints for you. I'm just going to tell you flat up, Eaten Alive.
I can see the straight face that you're giving me. That you want to hurt me with this one.
Not that I want to hurt you. I feel like this is the one genre we have to make sure we cover. And when I said exploitation,
the cannibal,
this is exploitation.
Yeah,
exploitation horror. I think it's the one thing we really haven't tapped the 70s yet on. And this,
all right,
we can't leave the 70s without hitting a few of these. And Eaten Alive is a major one.
Okay, so you're leaving it up to me to decide whether we're going to be in 1977 or not next week.
Ball's back in your court.
Okay, I mean maybe that's a good way to do it. It is my birth year. Maybe, I'm the one that pushes us into the very next year. We started in 73 with your birth year, and we're in 1976 in my birth year. And I know you mentioned it before. It's like we've done a ton of movies in the 80s. I just really want to get out of the 70s.
I know, but
I'm missing our old format. I think that's what it comes down to. I liked hopping, or I liked being able to, and I'll say this on the show because this is a conversation we've had. I like being in 1976 this week, but I also like that maybe next week we're in 2016. I really like. I know we don't, but I don't know. Do we want to set a dead end year where it's like, okay, we hit this year and we're done, or do we want to try and reimagine the format entirely?
Just change when we get tired. Who cares?
Well, I'm starting. I'm there. I'm getting there, dude.
All right.
We've been in the. And this is how I know I'm tired. We've been in the 70s for 2 years. Mm-hmm. We've been doing movies from the 70s for 2 years.
Okay.
It's a really long time.
If you want, we can stop it at 76 when we think we're done with 76, and whenever we want, we can pick it up again with 77.
We could do that. Well, let's have a more in-depth conversation off air. How about that?
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
All right. So now's the fun part. Ending the show. The fun part is starting the show and then ending the show. Because that means I get to go fall asleep on the couch. All right, everybody. This is a milestone episode, by the way. It's episode 350.
Like a big dog.
We, milestones are fun and all, but look at us. We're like ducks. Water just rolls off our backs. 350, big deal. It's a milestone episode. It's not a big deal.
You okay?
No, I'm not. I'm tired. You never heard that analogy?
Yeah, I never liked it.
Sorry. Man, I'll never use it again in your presence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyhow, go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can download or listen to the show there. You can go to our iTunes page, and you can do that as well there. You can also leave us email. The address is themovieguys at Moviesucktastic.com. If you want to go to our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. or /Moviesucktastic. If you want to leave us voicemail, the phone number is 908-514-4470. And we have a Tumblr page out there. We have an app for your Android device. Go to moviesucktastic.com /MST.APK. You can download right to your phone. I know I'm like, whoo, I'm teetering. And or you can download your favorite podcast player and just do a search for Moviesucktastic. Our feed is literally everywhere. Go to Google, do a search for Moviesucktastic. It's every. As a matter of fact, I haven't done a search for us in a while, because it's always interesting to see what episodes are possibly linked to other sites. Mm-hmm. Like the one that I remember the most, that it's like, I am assuming we said some very valid things in that one episode we did. What did we dub it? The rape episode?
Oh, the rape episode, yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody actually linked that podcast to an actual article written against and how do we solve things in the terms of rape. It was like almost like a college paper, whereas like it's like we're discussing this difficult topic. Here's a podcast that talks about it in cinema, and it's like, oh my god, what have we said? Did they listen to the show? I'm sure we laughed at some point, because it's bad movies that have these types of things in it, and it's like, oh man. Like our podcast, that episode, that YouTube, iTunes got linked to this article that was written, and I'm like, oh shit.
Nice. All I remember was at the time I was maintaining, I was doing summaries of the episodes on the blog, and it actually got taken down.
Oh my god.
Because I mentioned rape. I was like, I wasn't saying it was a good thing.
Oh, we had a bunch of episodes recently that have been flagged as age restricted. I'm assuming in the slideshow or in the video, there's maybe like a nipple slip or maybe some brief nudity. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I have to go back and watch all of these that were age restricted, because I'm sure they're just being overly cautious. Anyway, the music's ending. Do you have any words of wisdom?
'Twas beauty killed the beast.
Which they never said in this one, but thought that was interesting. They changed that too. Like, how many times can you fucking say it? It's iconic. You should say it. Maybe you should have it on a billboard somewhere, and it's like no one says. I don't know. I'm tired. Oh my god, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.